Side,
What was it
side
called?
seat
Yeah.
driving. Side seat driving. But as you can hear, we have all the Earpies today.
Yes.
And when you see
You'll be able to get to see Nick for the first time in years.
And yeah,
No, I've been on this year, wasn't I?
Were you? I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I'm
For the record,
the opera.
Nick does exist. He continues to exist. He didn't cease to exist. He's still
I
alive.
didn't cease to exist.
What's the old adage that reports of his demise were premature?
Yeah. That would have been funny. I have always wanted
Overly
that just to see,
exaggerated.
Yeah, what he did, the reports of his demise were overly exaggerated.
Unfortunately. I mean,
Fortunately. Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. This is Michael. This is Nick. This is Earpies.
good
Way
morning.
Too early. Yeah.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. So we're here.
I'm trying to figure out why is it that Nicholas brought his lumberjack shirt? I mean, are we
No,
doing
I thought
something
this
later?
is a very Christmassy.
Oh, is it? Oh,
It's got red.
Oh,
It's got
it's
red.
It's
lumberjack.
got red on it.
But this isn't a lumberjack. I mean, it looks like he's a lumberjack. Look at him.
Maybe he is a
Well, he's
lumberjack.
I'm
now.
pretty sure I have
He's
worn
got
this
the beard.
for
He's got the
every-
shirt. And
Well, the beard,
the
yes,
hat.
but
I don't know about, but
I'm
you know.
almost positive I wore this for every Christmas episode.
entirely
Oh, we're gonna have
Yeah.
to look back. We're gonna
Because
have
I
to look.
think I've worn it for every Christmas episode, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm wearing it, is because I got to wear the
Oh, you
same.
were.
it once a
So
year?
what was I was going to say?
Well, to be
year.
fair, it's flannel, so I actually do only wear it once or twice a year because I know it's too hot for me.
There you go. There you go. So we're here. We are live. It's our Christmas show. It is our final episode of Today y Mañana for the foreseeable future, for the time being, however you want to put it. We won't close off any
Pura
unretirement.
hora, pura hora.
Well, you know, we want to be like, those quarterbacks that it's
That's
like,
right.
I'm retired.
I'm
and then,
retired, and then 2 years later, come
I
back.
am not
I was almost
retired.
going the same way. I was like, these movies now, they always do the legacy sequel, so in 20 years, you'll get it today.
Exactly. We'll be back.
And everyone
I don't
will be
think they
like,
will be
Wheel in Xavier, he'll be really
We'll
old.
take her in.
we have to get a new younger guy to replace Xavier.
I think you got these legacy
more of
movies,
a
they always
legacy.
bring them back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Pascalino, we'll bring him instead. What do we?
It should be like
Much
you
more
watch those
personal.
movies with like Sylvester Stallone. Doesn't matter how old he
Yeah,
gets.
it's like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
8 years old.
He's
and
not like Sylvester
Exactly.
Stallone. He has
What are you trying to
nothing
say?
in
What are you trying to
common,
say?
so it's-
All right, Cary Grant, okay? I mean, for
Cary
God's sakes, I
Grant.
understand.
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
Exactly. So we are here in the I Love CVille Network set. We are presented by Emergent Financial Services. We are awesome partners with Matthias Young Realty. We love Matthias.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah,
him.
we'll miss him.
And so here we are. The time has come. This is a great day to grab your café con leche, sit down, watch some Today y Mañana. Watch us not drink café con leche so you can have one. That's always been the premise of the show. We forego the café con leche so that
So
you
you
can
can have
enjoy.
it.
I don't think it works that way. It's
That's
like
right.
the old Christmas story. Remember the kids like, your mother's like, remember, you have to eat your food because there's starving kids in Africa.
Yeah.
And then the voiceover there is, I never understood why me eating my food is going to make a starving kid in Africa full.
Oh, yeah, Christmas story, yeah.
Christmas story, yeah.
The kid never understood it.
Yeah, exactly.
But somehow, in a mystical way, us not having the café con leche enables you
In a
But we're
mystical
doing
way.
the show so that they could sit down.
and watch it.
That's
Exactly.
right, yeah.
And
Relax
enjoy
and
the café
enjoy
con
it,
leche.
that's right.
Exactly. So be sure to send us any questions, comments, thoughts. Dr. Elizabeth Earpy is watching. Maria Earpy is probably taking a nap or having fun.
Maybe,
with
maybe
She's
not.
missing her
Yeah,
daddy.
one or the
No,
other.
Earpy
She's
is
missing her daddy.
100% taking a nap right now. I knew
There you
that before
go.
we got
So-
on. He's going to miss the whole show, hopefully.
But maybe they'll watch, 20 years from now, they'll watch the highlights and they'll be like, what on earth was my father doing? Why was he in a
Why did
Santa
they
hat?
do? Why did they do that?
Why were they in a
They're not
Santa
very good
hat
at this.
around a table pretending
Well, no,
to be
she'll
podcast
like it when
hosts?
she's like 5, 6, or 7 years old, but then when she hits her teenage years, she's like, Daddy, you were so dumb. Why you
so
were that
embarrassing.
stupid?
My
hat?
friends
So
found you
embarrassing."
on
But to be
YouTube.
fair,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to watch the show to come to that conclusion.
No, that's true. That's true.
Oh man, oh man.
See, this is why we don't bring him on.
That's right, exactly.
Every
Yeah.
show. Like, who wants to do with him for 1 hour a week? But,
1 hour.
yeah, we said we would start with any. So
Reminiscing.
throughout today, feel free to comment. We should be one of those open house things. You can comment on anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's at the open Friday.
Open
except
Fridays.
it's on a Thursday. Open mic Friday, except it's a Thursday. They can comment and ask any questions. But we were going to open with remembering our first one.
It feels incredible how fast
It's
time
gone by.
has. Yeah,
5
time has come by.
years.
5 years. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't feel like 5 years. But all I was thinking about was literally that first day where you and I mean, you come into my room and said, "Can you tell me again why we're doing this?" and we're driving and we get all
We're
this
like, how did we let Jerry talk?
Yes, exactly. How did we do that? And so Jerry's very good at convincing people to do things. He makes you feel like, you can do anything. And then you sit there and go, wait a minute, I never did that before. How does he know I can do
How
it?
did I develop the skills for this?
That's right.
But so we were like, why are we doing this? We're driving in. And remember, the first shows, everyone was by Skype.
Skype,
well, actually,
exactly.
no, one person was actually, God bless them, Sombreros, Lucrecia, and Bernardo. I think they actually came in.
They
actually came in.
That's
but
right.
everyone else was like, the whole
Skype-
schedule was Skype.
Exactly.
Except Lucrecia and Bernardo were like, yeah, we'll come in. And so we're driving. Remember, we get onto Darth Road, and it's backed up because I don't know if it was an accident or something.
Did we ever find out?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I still to this day,
Clue.
and of all days, I'm driving, and I
know.
do not do well, super stressed
Exactly.
while driving. So
I
we're
remember that
late.
very well.
This whole thing is backed up. Darth Road, you cannot get anywhere. And he's like, no, make a U-turn. But like the U-turn, not like a legal U-turn. Make the U-turn where like
Well,
you
it
keep
was
to see if
illegal,
anyone's talking.
but-
No, it's not a legal U-turn. You can't just make a U-turn on a yellow line on a
Let's
one-way
not. Maybe
road.
we shouldn't talk about past criminal behaviors.
I know.
Yeah, the statute of limitations.
Hey,
is not
statute of
up to that.
limitations ends in
There's
3
these
weeks.
called emergencies. You just make a
Yeah.
U-turn.
So we like. So I'm like, quiet. Let me do it at my pace. Let me do it at my pace. And I made the U-turn, and we had to get to this studio by going all the way. We went to Free Union Road, all the way around to the Earlysville Hydraulic, and then we turned around there and we got to this place. The whole
Well, Mikey
long
and I
way.
were in the back, not saying a word because we knew that if we said anything,
We weren't there that day.
You
You
were
were in the
the
back
car.
seat. Yeah, you're in the back seat. We're all
Yeah,
going
you
together.
remember?
No, we didn't go the first
Yes.
show.
Yes.
No, you didn't come to the show, but we dropped you off at work.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were in
That's
the
why
car.
we were so
Like,
nervous,
we're
'cause
like,
we
let's
never-
not
got
say
it.
anything.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're gonna make it worse.
That's it.
Like, just let the supposed co-hosts who the first day are fighting in the car about whether or not to make a U-turn. Let's just leave that be. It'll resolve itself hopefully by the time we get there.
Exactly. So we made it.
No, we made it.
We
yeah.
made it. We did the first
made it
show. We
for
had
you.
this time where you and I would share the earbuds. We each had one earpiece.
But what it was, I think it was me. I couldn't hear the first
couldn't
show,
hear-
right?
oh, the first show you didn't even hear.
So you had to tell me,
what they were
answer
saying.
question. So
And-
then I have to. It was that
And
was
then-
hard.
And
I
then
have to
remember, the
admit.
first half was all Spanish.
No, the second.
Oh, the second half was all Spanish.
Yes, yeah.
Completely in Spanish. We hadn't yet figured out the bilingual
That's right.
shtick, so the viewership was probably like.
No, that's what would happen is that like you'd get this
What?
weird
Hell,
like,
682
drop,
fucking
and
Spanish.
then I
Yeah.
watched the numbers, and it would be like the first half there'd be retention, and then the second half the retention was gone, and then it would like come
But
up.
then it would
and
spike it down, but
Yeah,
all the
because-
Latinos would be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they hear it and they're like, "Oh, wow,
it's
you're
Spanish."
yeah, it's Spanish. I recognize that."
And then then we finished the show, right? And Jerry, God bless him, he
know,
comes
really.
over, he goes, "That was great, guys.
Yeah,
it
you
was
guys are so
fantastic.
good. You're
But
naturals."
here's your naturals.
Yeah.
But here's some stuff you need to work on."
For the future, here's some thoughts.
Well, then the opening and closing needs to just be a little more. We did fix that.
It's
It only
true.
took us
But the
5
funny
years.
thing is, I walked out and I said, you realize that Jerry just he boosts your ego and then he tells you everything you did wrong and you still feel good.
But it's the best way to do
I
it.
said, no, absolutely.
We didn't feel bad. We were like, okay, it's not so bad. I just have to do this.
I gotta change everything. But
And then once we do that,
He's a master chef at the compliment sandwich. It's like, right? Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So so we did.
Yeah.
Little by little, the intro got smoother.
how long did it take you to feel comfortable? Well, you sat there and
4
like,
years.
Yeah, about 4.5 years.
no. For Alex, I know. So for you, who knows? But
To be honest, I would say the nice thing is it jumped the comfort level as soon as Stipe was over.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because Stipe was because the issue with the Stipe was, right?
There's a
we
delay.
shared the earpiece, there's a delay.
Yeah.
Right? So I couldn't like kind of interject if someone was going long or like see if they didn't answer. And the brilliant stuff is you never knew they were going to show up until like they had the Stipe connection. Like you would dial them on Stipe
yeah.
and you'd be like, picked up this striped claw, or else I'm just sitting here. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. We weren't comfortable
That's
yet.
what I'm saying. You weren't comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was today, you'd be like, we got no one on the
All
show.
right, they didn't show
we got
up.
it for
Okay,
an
no
hour.
problem. Yeah, we weren't yet comfortable with just
Yeah.
winging it
Exactly.
on the finance topic.
Yeah.
But as soon as everybody was kind of in person, it was like, all right, yeah. Because now you just feel like they're there. By then we were in the swing of things. We had probably done a finance topic or two, so we were like, okay, yeah, I know how to just wing it. Asked Xavier about the Fed, and we have 30 minutes worth of content. So
Complaints.
especially at that time.
Yeah,
remember
that's right. Yes.
that time we had basically from 2021 until. 2 months ago? We always had complaints about the Fed. They were too slow to do this. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done this. And to be fair,
you were
we
always
were right
right.
every time.
Yeah,
we were right every
Well, it's
time.
been like that for the last 20 years. Let's
Yeah,
be
it's
honest.
true.
It just happened to be
That's
that we
true.
were on the show before.
We should know better. For the record, we were like, yeah, they're not raising rates fast enough. They're going to cause inflation.
Inflation.
Right?
Magic.
And then for the past 2 years, why aren't they lowering rates? And finally, when Powell's like, yeah, we realized that, tariffs is like a one-time increase in prices. It's not like permanent ongoing
Increases,
inflation.
yeah.
And he and I are like, I kind of knew that from 101. So for the record, we were always right.
Yeah, you were always
We
right.
can say that now because there will be no more future predictions. So we were always right.
That's true, right?
Exactly.
We don't have to make any future predictions. So.
But
But yeah, then
good.
after that, it just became a lot easier, and especially when people would come and either bring cookies or food or wine or liquor, that was really fun,
Yeah.
right? Because you got the ability to taste and talk about it, and the nice thing is most of the time you could tell that the guests were somewhat nervous at first, but within like 2-3 minutes, boom. Especially some of them, it's like, boom.
Remember the one guest confirmation that she needed? I won't say her name because I don't know if we said on air that she needed it. But she was so nervous. And so Jerry had like and he's like, would you like a little, I think it was like a Vitae Spirits rum or something.
No, she had bourbon.
Oh, bourbon. The bourbon.
It was straight bourbon.
And she took the bourbon.
I know, yeah.
Let's do this. And then
And
she was
did
good.
great.
She did great. Yeah, it worked. It worked. That was, oh my goodness, that was fun.
That was fun. That
And
really
then,
was.
yeah.
No, we had some good shows where people would come on
yeah.
and they were very passionate about what they did,
Yeah.
which always made it exciting.
Exactly.
That they
Yeah.
come and like share like whatever they baked. There was something, like the liquor, like you said. It's like, oh look, we make
Ian,
new drinks.
Vitae Spirits, one of
He
our
was our first
partners.
He was our first sponsor.
Was he our first sponsor?
He was our first sponsor.
He was our
yeah.
first sponsor. Man, yeah, every time
Yeah.
he
was
had
great.
something great that he would like surprise us. Because he would then do remember when Christmas time would come, he would pull out the pine tree flavored.
Yeah, exactly.
One that you were like, what the heck? This is good,
Yeah.
and it actually tastes
Like pine.
like
Like
Christmas
pine.
trees.
Yes,
I mean,
it
I don't know
does.
how
Yeah.
you
I
did this.
still have that in the
You still
bag.
have
I
it in your
some
pantry?
the back of my
Cabinet there.
Yeah.
And then
I
he
need to go
had
get
that
some.
the maple cream.
The maple cream.
liquor.
That didn't last long in our household.
Yeah, that was gone
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was good. Yeah, he had
was pretty
fantastic
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
But
That would certainly get us going, drinking at 10, 15, 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we
Finish up.
definitely had to run the it's 5 o'clock somewhere
Exactly.
shtick.
yeah, but Michael was right. That, one of the things that I really liked was when you just see the passion in the
people had,
right?
yeah.
And the other thing was it never occurred to me how many small businesses there are in this area that are trying, are just
Yeah.
starting, or they've been going on it for a couple of years, and their products, how they came about it, the stories. It was amazing. I mean, it got to the point where it's like I enjoyed the Thursday mornings when we had somebody on
Yeah.
because I learned so much. And it's like I didn't even know that business existed.
Exactly.
Right? It's like I know
Who found that business though? You gotta give credit to somebody.
Who? I don't know.
I don't
Nick found a lot
The
of
CMO,
CMO found a lot of those people. He was the world's greatest Facebook stalker. Facebook, Instagram.
Well, it's funny how it got for a while it got easier because Facebook would just send you people.
Yeah.
It would just recommend like this new business because it was like, okay, if you're
This
looking for
person
business
knew
in
that
Charlottesville,
one.
Oh, so
this
you
will
didn't
pop up.
work
This
very
will-
hard, in other words.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
here we are thinking all
I
this
would
hard
love
work.
when-
To be
when-
fair, just so everyone knows, like out of every like 7 to 10 emails or messages you send, you get like one response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to like to fill up the shows was like a lot of emails managing, and then not to mention some businesses don't have emails, they only do Facebook, some only do Instagram, so you
Yeah.
like have to check every single one every day to make sure you're not missing someone.
Right.
So it was
No, it's
a lot of
work. It's a lot of work that
communication.
goes on behind the scenes
Yeah,
to make
it was a lot of coordination,
to make it happen.
which
And
is
we
not
would-
everyone's strong suit.
Yeah.
Meaning?
Yeah,
Meaning?
it's just that some,
Meaning no-
some shows went empty when they weren't supposed to be. is
Or
what
every
I'm
once in a
saying.
while we would walk in, and God bless Judah too. We would walk
Yes.
in, and I would look and see like 3 people, and I'm saying to myself, "There's only supposed to be 2 people." on this." And Judah and I would kind of like look at each
There's so
other
many
like
times I'm
something's off here,
Yeah.
and we're really hoping one of these groups is like marketing. The other would be like, "You marketing for the other?" Like, no, we're with so and so, and Judah and I are probably both in our hands like. "Nick, you didn't tell us about somebody," but he would usually be with someone like never got back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? They
Yeah.
never responded.
They
So
just
Nick
show
said,
up.
"I guess they're not coming." And they'd be like, "Yeah, I just showed up." But we would just like work it.
So
Judah
many
would like
times.
quickly like
So many
add the
times.
third person, and they would be like, "Oh, I don't know. Do you want us to come back another time?" And I'm like, "No, we got this. We'll figure it out." I'm looking up there while Judah's adding them to
You're
the.
trying to look up questions.
I'm looking up their website, like what they do, what are the questions, right? And
We've had that a couple times too, where like they've had this obscure name, and remember we go in and we're like, "What the heck do these people do?" I don't know what they do.
what do they do?
You know, but you have to pretend it's like, "Oh, so what about your business?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But there were sometimes, I mean, we've had people that did really interesting things that you're like, I didn't even know
This was a job.
this was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, some things is like, wow, who came up with this? Who, I didn't know this would even a business here.
Yeah. That we had so many. There was, I remember one of the ones always is, remember the high school woodworking kid?
Yeah.
I forget his name. Poor guy.
Seth.
Seth, that he came in and basically he fell in love with woodworking. He bought the super wood engraving machine and he made all the little laminal things for all the laminal holders for all the healthcare workers that you need your card to get in. And he would make these little wood things. You would stretch it, ding, to your card, and then it would be attached to you.
Wow.
And he had the whole thing,
Yeah.
making all those things, and he would design them with whatever you wanted, and engrave them with this like high-tech wood
Engraver,
engraving machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you would like. I never thought that would be a thing.
Yeah.
And but there he was on the show.
And there you are about, here's a young kid from high school, and he
Yeah.
realizes what he likes to do. All of a sudden, he found a passion that he loves.
Yeah.
And an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
And that's the key, entrepreneurship, right? I mean, there's just so many
Some of the
people
young
out
people
there.
that were coming on the show and like they were starting these businesses really like that
Yeah.
or straight out of high school.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun because especially at that age, you're talking about the passion, but there's also the energy of being youthful. That's just you just sort of like, man, I just want him to do well. Like I just want, like it's not that you don't want, you want everyone. Of course, we want every business to thrive, but like in particular, you see somebody that's full of youthful enthusiasm
you're like,
and energy.
please
and
let
you're
this
like,
work.
Yeah, you just want it to work for them because you're like they have such a vision at that age, and you're just sort of like, man, I remember the things I wanted to do at that age, and none of them happened. Go ahead,
Lego Master Builder.
yeah, no, well, but I didn't realize
Never
I
made
needed
it on the
Well, to
show.
be fair, I never knew I needed an engineering degree to be a Lego master, so couldn't do it.
That one.
Wait a minute, so you tell me that if you created a Lego set and you weren't an engineer, they wouldn't take it from you?
Well, to be fair,
No, he
remember,
means that to actually
to work for Lego.
No, I'm saying, to work for Lego.
To work for Lego,
Yeah.
like in Denmark and all that,
Okay.
you need to have an engineer. Like, I think they're all
A
engineers.
lot of them have a lot of engineering
Yeah, they're all
degrees.
engineers. But to upload Lego
Oh,
has
yeah,
a
you
thing
can
called
upload,
Lego
yeah.
Ideas. I
then
guess
you
if
can get
anyone's not
lucky.
aware, and we're doing the Lego episode at long last. Finally, we finally got to the topic that we all love. You can submit to a website called Lego Ideas. You can upload using there's a program called something 2, Studio 2, and you can design Legos. It was created by a fan. Like this whole thing was created by a fan. You can design a Lego, upload it to the website. If it gets 10,000 votes, the Lego staff will review it, and if they approve your idea, you get a portion of the sale proceeds.
You actually
for
can.
those.
Wow. Yeah.
And so like, there's been a lot of even like Christmas related one. Like there was a Home Alone set. There was, do you remember? Oh,
remember all
the
the ones.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's like all these sets is like these were created by fans. Like it was like, okay, we're gonna prove this idea. I assumed that they had to go buy the IPs and all that stuff, but like then the creator actually would get a portion of the proceeds. And
Nick was
10
talking
versions
about like the
of the
kid
set.
idea that
Yeah.
you worked for them permanently.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
Okay.
fair, that was Mikey's joke. Was that I was going to.
That's
permanently
probably
for
would have been
Lego.
your probably first choice anyway. To be honest.
I never
Probably
thought
been
of
the
that. I never thought of it as something that I could have done. But like to
Yeah,
be fair,
yeah.
that would have been enjoyable. Just like
Cool job.
coming up with sets, especially since now they've come up with more adult Lego themed stuff.
Yeah.
You just like
Roman,
the modulars.
Roman
and-
this, Roman that. Ancient
Well, I
Greek.
would have been like
Roman
trying to get that
gladiator.
all
It would be
done.
like, why don't you do something different? Okay, but ancient Greek.
Ancient Greece, you know, like then there's like the Beethoven set, the Opera House, you know.
Oh,
Opera
speaking of
House
which,
set you a minute.
all the music people we've had on.
Yeah.
You were always here with music.
Yes.
That's when we knew Nick would come on and be like, oh, Shorts for Opera's on. Oh,
Well,
Nick's on
to be
today.
fair, I do. Part of that was that I knew the questions to ask too.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
like you know what to-
Sometimes you didn't get to ask those questions. So.
well, with that time I was with Maestro
Michael
Ben
and-
and Michael Sloan, and Xavier was with me, and all he did was like interrupt my question to ask his questions. And I was
But they
like,
were
I got
good.
these
My,
real
my questions were good, and they
loved
love those
your questions, and
There
I
you are.
still to
See?
this day don't know why your questions.
You wanted to
were
ask
my
questions like
were
every
No, I think Michael Saul used to appreciate Nick's questions because he would get really excited because Nicky would ask something that's very like musical oriented. That
Yes.
like, I'm sure nobody asked him those questions.
Oh,
You
exactly.
know, I asked generic questions like, oh, well, what's special about this piece or whatever, like stupid crap like that. And Nick would be like, oh, you know, Bach, when he was making this, he was doing some sort of like, you know, Michael Saul would be like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
I actually did start music.
yeah.
Well, right, but that's part of it. Is that like there was some whenever one of us knew about something, it was better to have them on the show because they knew the questions to ask. The nice thing about Xavier is that like he never knows. He's like the
I don't know
average
anything,
man.
yeah,
he
I
doesn't know
just ask.
anything, so we asked the average man's questions. But I thought that
The everyman.
The
I think you
everyman.
mean the everyman.
the everyman, the average man. What's the difference?
Well, I think that's the term. Xavier's
Okay,
like the
well,
Yeah,
everyman.
really. Yeah. I like every man better than
Everyman.
average.
Average man.
You're
Yeah,
more
he's,
like the
he's
below
above
average.
average. He just
I thought I was,
never.
wait a minute. Jerry told me the first day that was really. I mean, now you're telling me I'm average, and Jerry's telling me I'm good. Which one is?
Affable. Affable.
Matthias is tuning in saying, so good to see you all on the show together doing the Erpy Family Christmas episode. We missed you, Matthias. We're glad
missed
you were
you,
able to.
Matthias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good to see, him last week. At least he got a chance to do one more show.
Yep. No, we loved
For now.
We loved the monthly meetup. Yeah, for now.
For now.
For now. But we loved the monthly meetup.
Yeah, so calm. I mean, he's got that calming voice, right? And
Yeah, no, I just talked. Yeah, I just talked with
Yeah.
Matthias for like 3 hours.
Although the funny
To
thing
fill the
is that
podcast.
after his first episode when he was sponsoring, he asked me how he did. He was very quiet. So I was very honest with him. I said, you need to be a little more Italian and get it up. Get it out. Yeah, he does love Italy, so that's why the joke works. I'm
Yeah.
like, he's got to be a little bit more Italian. He's got to get it up a little late. The German is great, but it's got to come up a little bit.
those are always great.
Like, you got to be yourself, but
Yeah.
you got to, like, come in, let it come out a little
But you know what's
bit.
funny too? Just how things have changed, right? When Tias first started, he had no kids. You were not. Were you married? You probably were married.
No,
by the
it was,
time
well,
Matthias
that was,
started.
I was a
oh, by
fiance.
the time Matthias started.
Yeah.
By the time Matthias started.
Oh, by the
were you
time
married?
Matthias started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but when Matthias started, I don't think I was married yet.
Yeah.
And now I'm married with a kid. Matthias has 2 beautiful baby girls, and you were married with a baby boy. So it's like the transformation and the time. And Michael's still Michael.
Yeah. Thank you,
Xavier-
Jack.
Never
And
changed.
Xavier's gotten older.
barely.
Barely. Barely.
The hat makes me look old. That's what it is.
Yeah, it makes
Actually,
me-
the hat's hiding and no one can see the difference. But we want to do the before and after. You don't want to take a look at the first picture you take on the shot. You're like, oh wait.
Oh, but yeah, no, some good Some good ones.
What did you guys think when sometimes you'd have to eat on the show? Because I used to love it and hate it at the same time. I used to love when bakery would come, or like you'd have a place that did like little meals, because then they bring the stuff. But I hated eating on camera because I was always
worried about
because I was worried that it's like you dip something and something drips. You got something dripping and everyone can see it.
I never really thought about that. Yeah, I would just like.
To be fair,
is this good?
It was easier for me because I would let Alex talk, and I would just finish eating what I was eating, and then ask whatever question I wanted to ask. So like the time we had the pizza guy that brought the pizza, remember?
Yeah.
Sam came with the opera the same day as the opera.
Yes.
He brought like 2 pizzas. I just literally when he was passing out the pizza, I sat there, ate the whole slice while Alex talked, and then was able to be like,
I was
"This
the unlucky
is
one
great.
that couldn't eat all the time.
You had to keep the show going.
What happened is I would have to take like a small bite while someone else did, because I'm like, I can't have my mouth full of food
and talk
when the time comes to ask that question, and you don't want the awkward pause where you ask the question, they answer, everybody looks at me, I have my food in my mouth.
Giant cinnamon roll, and he's like,
Luckily,
we didn't have anybody who brought something that physically couldn't fit. Because that's always because you know how like sometimes like Ivy Provisions, they'll make their sandwiches so big,
yes,
like they have to like
those are hard. Yeah.
It
was rare. I mean, a couple of times that happened. Once I remember once it happened to us where it was one of those kind of luncheon meals where it was like cheesy and stuff like that, and I'm looking at it, I said, that's kind of messy, man.
Yeah.
This is not going to be easy, right?
But we've had some good stuff.
But
thankfully,
everyone
who brought stuff was always delicious.
No, it was.
I never found myself having to eat something.
Yes,
and be like,
I never had to fake it.
Delicious, right? It's like where it's like you eat something.
That was to say. First off, we like everything in general, but it
would have been possible. It's possible someone could have brought a bakery good that was like, this is just not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
And you have to like pretend.
Yeah. The problem is you can't hide disgust when you eat something.
Yeah.
You could say it's delicious, but you could tell by someone's face, you're like,
I don't know, it's delicious. No, but that never happened.
Like
actually,
yeah.
like my daughter, you put the chili. I'll have some more though.
My son is just a bottomless pit.
Yeah, no,
just anything you just give him, he just eats it.
Yeah, but thankfully that never happened.
No.
Actually, everyone we had on actually was delicious. Even if we liked it, because we didn't vet them. It's not like we went and tasted their stuff, made sure it was good, and then brought them on the show. Like sometimes it was like, I have no clue if this pastry is going to be good or not. And you're like, it is good.
And those are probably Judah's favorite shows, because then afterwards we'd be like, go ahead, Judah,
have some.
There's some crumbs left over.
The drinks is what Judah appreciate after having to deal with us for an hour a week. And be like, every once in a while, it's like, here, have a glass of wine.
Yeah. Well, we've had some beer people come on. Remember they brought all these cans of beers? There was like a spicy one. Remember? Do you remember?
Yes. Who was that? Was that
Southern Revere?
It was Southern Revere.
Yeah,
Southern Revere. That they had, that spicy Mexican beer thing.
Yes.
That you would, but I mean, they made the beer and then they put the members of the little powder or something that you mix it. Yeah.
It made it spicy.
It was the weirdest thing, but good. Yeah, it was almost like a Mexican Bloody Mary mix.
Yes,
a tomato-y.
Yeah.
Right? And we sat there and I'm like, I have no clue if this is going to be good.
Yeah, they're serving this up and
I've never had like a tomato spicy jalapeno beer. And then you taste it and you're like, this is good.
Yeah.
They made very good beers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Southern Revere. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like the closest I've gotten to American beer that one of them actually tastes like it was made like a European beer. Their Belgian one, was really good.
Well, because a lot of times beers here are a little hoppy, and the after bite, we're not really crazy about that.
Yeah,
it's funny because I always wanted Random Row to come on the show because I love their beer. Because they have one that's...
Yeah, we did. What happened? We just never...
And just never clicked, but it was one of those things that they have a beer that's like a 12... Like, it's like a 14% beer.
Oh, the super dark one.
That is super dark. They serve it in a cognac glass. Is like the closest thing the beer comes
cognac
to wine. And it's a stout, like it's just dark. And I'm like, this was made for me. This is a beer that is more to my taste. I'm not a huge beer person.
Beer.
So, not a lumberjack beer. It's more like it's a beer for people who like to drink wine. It's really what it is. I was like, this is great,
Or cognac. I mean, that's basically if it's in a cognac glass.
It was in a cognac glass. It was great too because you could just hold it. And
nothing like a lumberjack holding a cognac
full of beer. That works out so great, right?
That was good. Yeah, no, we had some good stuff.
There were moments. I remember once I was on the show with Michael, and he's got all the questions, right? And he asked the lady the first question, and she goes through for about 5, 10
and
minutes.
answers all of them.
And answers all of them. He's looking at me like, well, that covers all the questions.
Yeah,
Like,
we didn't have many questions for that day. I don't remember what the
yeah, like
lady
4
did.
questions,
an
but she
event.
answered them all in the
It
first
was an
question. It's like,
event.
It was an
okay,
event for it.
Here we go.
It was an event for It's Art Park.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yes, yeah. 'Cause I remember I was watching.
Yeah.
You guys, I had you on the thing while I forget if I was sick or if I had something at work that I
Yeah.
had to do, but I would listen, and I knew it. The moment she runs through the whole day, she went like the who, what, where, when, why, everything,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dang it. Only 3 minutes of this interview has elapsed. Like, what are they going to do for the next?
You know,
Yeah.
it's
That seat's always tough too, because then I'd be having to stare at Pops. It's like, please have a question.
Please
staring
have
at
a
me.
question.
It's like, someone, one of us, come on. Because your brain's starting to rack up. What do I ask? What do I ask? What do I ask? I'm like, please. Alex is always so good at it. I always know he's got a question up his sleeve.
Yeah,
like
I
it
always
doesn't
kinda
matter
like-
what it is. He can find a good question to ask. Versus me and Pops, I'm like, please, Pops, have something to ask. Which is why we're doing the show with Nicky every once in a while. I was like, man, I gotta have the questions because I know if I sit there, him and I just gotta stare.
That's absolutely true. I remember I did this solo show once with Greer Kelly. Was amazing.
Oh, from Friends of CVille.
Yeah, and we had a really good conversation for about 45 minutes of it, but I should have ended it there because then I realized that I had nothing, and I sat there trying to think. I'm like, I got a question. How do I put this? It's going to take me 5 minutes to think of how to phrase it.
Yeah.
And then poor Greer was just like waiting on the edge of her seat, like, what's he going to say, you know? And then I threw her a question that she was completely unprepared for because it just came to me in the moment. And she was a great guest.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things, you can't do that, you know? You can't ask this very difficult
Why?
question
Xavier
off
always
the
asks
spot.
questions that people are totally unprepared for.
Yeah.
I run them. That's what every time we would do the intro, just like before the show, I was at talk to each guest, give them an idea what we're going to talk about, right? And so I'll be like, we're going to talk about, if it's okay with you, how you got started, what you do, right? And then I'll just turn and say, and Xavier is going to ask questions that, are not prepared. So just be prepared.
Be prepared for the
Well, but it's only
unexpected.
because as the conversation goes, something pops in your head. So you ask the question.
And that was
That's
one of my
that's
favorite
how it
moments
works.
when we had Virginia Distillery on, and you asked her what's single malt because she was talking about single malt, and I was like, thank God you asked because I didn't know what single malt. But I was like, all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I actually don't know what that means, what a single malt is. But it's great because there are people out there who have no clue what a single malt
Yeah.
is.
90% of people probably don't know what a single malt is.
Well, I wouldn't say 90%.
The difference is half
the
of us
people who are-
pretended.
Well, whiskey.
Oh, wow,
You
this
wanna
is
know
single
what it is?
malt.
What happens is, remember, there are questions you don't want to ask because you don't want to sound. You feel like if I ask him, I'm going to
I'm
sound,
gonna sound dumb.
Like I don't know anything.
But
But Xavier
it
doesn't
is
have
dumb,
to worry
so it
about
doesn't
that.
matter.
Xavier doesn't worry about that.
It's
He
just-
just
it's
asks the
inquiry.
question.
Yeah, I don't worry about that.
'cause it
See, once
doesn't-
you hit,
everyone
And
a
then once
knows.
he asks you, you're like, I knew that.
Yeah, but once you hit a certain age, it doesn't matter. It's like
Yeah.
when I was young, I was the same thing. I'm not asking that question because if somebody's going to say, "What are you stupid?" Or what is this, right? But now it's like, what do I care what they think of me? And I don't know. I want to
I don't
ask.
know what it is, yeah.
You're just a nice old man.
That's all. Yeah,
I
just a
mean,
nice old man.
See, I
You know,
just,
with memory
what I would
problems, that's all.
do, what I would do is I would phrase it like I know for those who don't know
smart.
what is single malt because, and for those who don't know includes me doesn't make a difference. But you have to phrase it that way. For those who don't know, could you explain more about this? And it turns out you are the one who doesn't know.
Doesn't
but
know. They had good stuff too. We had some
No,
good
yeah.
story.
That was good. That was good.
you bought me this cider cask one
I think I did.
for my birthday last year.
Or something. I know it was
It's
good.
gone now, but that was very.
Well, I'll tell you
good.
one thing
They
about
have all sorts of
our
stuff.
area. The distilleries are really, really
Oh, yeah.
good. I mean, the breweries and distilleries, they're amazing.
They really are.
They are. I mean, the Ragged Ranch is always, there's just so many of these distilleries that, I taste them. It's like, stuff's good.
It's really good
Listen,
stuff.
our uncle is a big
Bourbon.
bourbon whiskey person, and he still tells us that like what he can get in New York is not like
Is not as good
Is
as-
not like he gets stuff here.
Not
that's
as good
better
for
than
the price,
high-end
yeah,
stuff
as
that he
Ragged
can
Ranch.
get
Yeah.
here. And so like he loves when he comes to visit. We're always just like, all right, let's find
Especially
it.
if there's a sale on ABC. He just buys a box full.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, I said to him, it's not wine, He goes, yeah, no, we just have one every day. It's okay.
No, we've been lucky. We've been lucky. Hey,
I mean, to be fair,
got-
this is historical. That we got to throw in at least one fact. Historically speaking, we are big bourbon because George Washington, the man himself, the first president, ran the biggest distillery in the country for a number of years. Mount Vernon was the biggest one.
I did not know that.
For years until it ended up changing hands, and then they didn't keep the distillery running.
It's so American.
But
who was the first leader of your country? Yeah, he had a farm. He also did the biggest distillery in the country. Said the first American president would be the man who had the biggest distillery.
And he was convinced by his foreman, who was Scottish. Yeah. Who was like, yeah, let me buy the still. I'll get one in average size. He didn't get an average size. He got the biggest one he could, and they made as much as possible. Did you tell me once it was the biggest in the world or something? It was the biggest in the country for a while, is what it was. It basically, so George Washington didn't realize that and the reason the smart thing was it's a better product because he was growing wheat. But if wheat had a bad year, you can't sell the wheat. But if you're making whiskey, you can buy the wheat from everyone else, make the product, and continue to sell.
Whiskey.
A reliably good.
Yeah.
He didn't age it, so it's not like whiskey
Right.
today was clear because he didn't age it in barrels, and all the color comes from the barrels.
Right.
But George Washington was everyone was drinking Mount Vernon brand whiskey for tons of people around the country, and it was all from George Washington's thing. So it's Virginia here that we had the biggest distillery, and it was with our first president, one of our own.
Well, maybe that's what made him such a good president.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a point.
Who else
It's
knows?
good to know.
Well, that's what made him such a good president. Let's be honest. I mean, at the beginning, when you think about the people that ran this country, they weren't literally politicians, right?
No.
They were farmers or workers or whatever they may be,
Lawyers.
right? Today it's like they're all
They weren't.
Today
Well,
they're
they
all
weren't.
politicians.
To be honest, I'm reading this James Madison biography. Trust me, the politics there was
Monroe,
just
you mean?
Monroe. Yeah, sorry. And it's so dirty.
Oh, they
you
did.
have no idea.
Oh, yeah,
It's-
no, they did.
There was real. In reality, they were just like our
No,
Things have
True.
not changed that much.
Yeah,
True,
they
true,
really
but
haven't. They were
the
all
people-
lawyers
the- yeah, but the people themselves sometimes when their backgrounds, I mean, you get guys today that literally just they come in, they're House of
only ever
Representatives,
been
and
politicians,
all they ever
Yeah.
do for the rest of their life is be politicians. They say, "Well, I understand the working person." Well, how do you understand the working person if you never worked a day of your life, right? I mean, granted, I know that they work, but from the perspective
But listen,
of
I'll give you an example from Monroe. I mean, basically, since the time of the end of the Revolution, he went from being minister. They sent him out to France. I forgot what you call that when you're like a diplomat.
diplomat, yeah.
Basically, he went to diplomat.
the delegate.
Then he went back to the House of Representatives for the Virginia. Then they made him governor. Then he's going back to diplomat under. This guy's for 30 years is just staying into politics. So in the end, it happened even back then. Maybe different
Well,
jobs,
they were doing
but
this
it was.
sleazy stuff.
To be fair-
I'll never forget. I read the George Washington biography, and I realized that Thomas Jefferson, as the Secretary of State, hires a guy. So Thomas Jefferson is the Secretary for
Right.
George Washington. Hires a guy who has a fake job at the Secretariat of State, and whose real job, what Jefferson really wants to do, is to anonymously run a newspaper that just blasts the George Washington administration every day. So you imagine, poor George Washington, your own administration is paying a guy whose single job is not to actually work for your administration, but to write terrible articles about you and how terrible you are. And your own Secretary of State is doing it.
It was hilarious. They would basically go into their own newspapers, the Federalist or the Republicans, and basically go and write articles bashing, Monroe would write one bashing Hamilton, but he'd use a surname, so it was never
pseudonym.
Monroe.
Yes.
What else? It's always like
Hamilton would do the same thing. It's
my
like,
favorite
what
is that
the
they'd
heck?
always use these ancient Roman names. Would be
Yes.
Titus, would
Publius,
from
yeah.
Publius would be writing some
well, nothing's
dirt.
changed then.
No,
Not a lot
nothing's
happened.
changed.
But the one thing I will say that has changed, the amount of time it actually took to get through certain schooling. Because now, who knows how long it takes to be a lawyer? And Patrick Henry became a lawyer in 6 weeks. Because he
let's say
studied
that
enough to
there's
pass the
more
bar.
and more and more and more laws, right? I mean, it's like everything else.
I mean, Thomas Jefferson took 5 years
Yeah.
because he wanted to take more time. But the whole point is,
You could actually become
you
a
could
lawyer.
actually become a lawyer.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I could just take 2-3 years, become a lawyer. Now there's so much that it's going to take you 8 years at the
But the
very
question
least.
is, was
if not
Patrick
more.
Henry a good lawyer?
He was an excellent lawyer. He's famous for being a lawyer. I mean, he's famous for.
He wasn't very diplomat, very lawyerly when he said, give me liberty or give me death.
But that is well. No, to be honest with you, wouldn't it be nice to have more lawyers that were like, I need to refrain from using this statement because they could take it too literally. So let's
Yeah.
add an addendum
Give my
saying
client
that when
liberty
I
or
say
kill him.
death, it is symbolic reference. Like this is the issue with lawyers today, is that a lawyer wouldn't say that because he's like, well, that could actually cause problems. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to have to write an addendum.
I wouldn't want anyone to misconstrue my statement about death.
So let's make sure that we clarify what I mean by liberty and death. And you know, that's section A and section B. Like this is the problem today. Right?
It is, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you go through a contract, it's like a simple agreement. It's about 20 pages, and you go, man, it's just a lot of garbage in here.
Yeah, and you can't read it because the language is the way it's written.
Yeah.
And hereby, this person, the participant, but it's like, I don't understand who's who in this thing.
I don't think you're supposed
in
to.
order to clarify things that made it so complicated that it's impossible.
Yeah.
How did we get on this? See, this is
that?
a classic
Mount
Urpy.
Vernon. This is the Mount Vernon.
Oh, Mount Vernon
Mount
Distillery.
Vernon.
So this is
Yeah.
a classic Urpy conversation. We start at Mount Vernon and we end up with distilleries and we end up with lawyers.
You know, this is your last chance. Did you want to do like one little finance tip? I mean, you can make a prediction.
Tip?
But,
No.
well,
No,
at times-
no way.
Well, no, but you can make a prediction. Like, I think the market's going to go up 100% next year. And then this way, some's like, oh, Xavier says that. Then you're never going to be shown again, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, well, the market could go up 100%. I'm not going to say that.
Did I ever tell you quickly about, we were talking about like there's two trackers that are famous. There's the Nancy Pelosi Insider Trade and Tracker, right? And then there's the reverse Kramer, right? The Nancy Pelosi tracker is like the second biggest ever in the, like it makes like 3 times what the stock market returns, but it still
Oh, it
loses
only ever buys what?
whatever Nancy Pelosi
What Pelosi
buys,
does.
but it still cannot beat the reverse Kramer tracker, which is basically people buy whatever
Jim Cramer says to not buy.
yeah, whatever. It's the opposite of whatever he does. So if he says buy something,
Well, I guess they sell it short.
And
They
if he
sell it
says
short.
sell it, they buy.
No way.
Yes.
You mean it outperforms
outperforms
the
the
Nancy
Nancy
Pelosi
Insider
tracker?
tracker.
That's crazy.
Imagine, so basically not going
And
with
he's still
the
on,
trend.
isn't he? He's
Yeah.
he's like,
I'm pretty sure he's still
But
on.
this is why they're keeping him on, so that other people,
people
those
can make
guys
money off him.
are paying CNBC to keep him on, so that they can continue to make money off his things. Like if you
whatever.
already was going off, and I was running that ETF or that what was it, that
Tracker.
fund, that tracker, I would immediately call
Well,
up
think about
CNBC and be like, I'm donating money to keep him on the
It's
air.
true. Well, think about it. If you
Right?
had a die that you knew that you could make money by doing the opposite of anything he said, I would pay that die to keep giving me advice because I knew that I would make money by just doing the opposite of whatever he
Yeah,
told me to
like
do.
a
the best thing is
conspiracy
usually, I
theory.
mean, he just yells and screams so much, right? That it's like, I remember his shows, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I mean, the Bear Stearns was the best one. This is a buy. This is the best time to buy. And it's like, I'm sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know about that. You know,
How long after that did Bear Stearns go under?
not long. Well, a few weeks, I
few
think.
weeks.
Yeah.
It was a great time for something, but it wasn't to buy Bear Stearns.
No, but we should have had the Xavier tracker. Every week he's like, this is what you gotta buy. So
Well, to be fair, on bonds, the Xavier tracker would have done pretty well.
Interest rate.
On interest rates, yeah. If you had just done whatever Xavier said on interest rates.
Well, I remember one. So this is when I was still working at the previous firm, right?
Yeah.
And so I had an opinion, and I said rates are coming down. Everybody said rates were going up, and I said no, rates are going to come down for 6 months, right? And my own people say, you can't say that. I said, why not? Because everybody thinks rates are going up. I said, so what? I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, it's my opinion, and here's why, right? And because even like Gundlach and all these other big bond guys said the PIMCO the rates are going up. I said, no, this is why. So I recommended that they buy the long ETF, that 20 plus. The 20 plus year, right? I said, put that into your model. I said, you sure? Yeah, put it in the model. I said, well, we'll balance it out with some short stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we did. That thing went up like 25%, right? It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so one of their clients calls me up. He says, you really should be on TV because, things like that, you make you famous. I said, I don't want to be famous. Because that doesn't mean I'm going to be right on
Yeah.
But in the end, you ended up on TV and became famous.
You ended up on Facebook and YouTube, so you did end up on TV.
But it's just, it's just one of those things where you follow people, you look at people, and they have these opinions, and I'm sitting there going, do you realize if you go back in history, most people, it's like half of the time they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like PIMCO, PIMCO was like wrong for like 3 years in a row because they, before the crash, it's like they kept talking about, not the crash, but they're talking about issues, right?
Yeah.
But 3 years into it, I said, yeah, you got it right, but for 3 years you were absolutely wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So in other words, sooner or later, with interest rates, with bonds it's easy. Sooner or later, you say interest rates are going up, they're going up, they're going up. 5 years later, I told you we're going up.
Well, that's the problem with stuff like that, right? If every year the stock market's going to go down this year, and you say that the stock market's going to go down this year, every year for 15 years, sooner or later, you're going to be right. So I was a genius. But you were wrong 10 times in a row.
That's the world we live in. That's why it's like I always tell people you got to read everything and make your own opinion.
Exactly. Because the 1 year he's right, he's going to do the billboards the next year saying, exactly. I was right last year. I was right. And people go, I should buy his stuff because he was right last year. I said, well, where was his billboard?
Bloomberg used to do that, right, once a year. So Bloomberg at the beginning of the year, they'd talk to 100 economists, right, and get all their opinions on the stock market, the bond market, et cetera, right? And at the end of the year, they
publish who was right,
who was wrong, right? And it was incredible how it would flip every single year. These guys were bullish, that guy was bearish, this guy's always bearish, that guy was always bullish.
The problem is I think people get, somebody was writing about this, with the only issue with some economists and investors is that they are shaped by the first thing that they experience when they become fully invested or economists. So if you, for instance, they're basically saying, like, for instance, the Great Recession when 2008, anybody who started investing in that year or became an investor then is going to be bearish for the rest of their life. And it's just something that it's a psychological thing. It's not something that they do on purpose. But like, if your first experience is you're an investor, you're working that, and then all of a sudden that happens, you're like, I'm like, you are going to see doom and gloom on the horizon forever because that's your first experience in the market. And the opposite happens for people who experience bull runs. So the funny thing is sometimes it's just like it's a personality thing. You're not actually making sometimes you have to almost try to undo use logic to undo your own thinking, because you will see the bear in every market, if you're a bear. And
the bull's a little lucky, because Larry
most
Tudlow,
of the time you're right.
Larry Tudlow always thinks he's going to go great, but you know what the problem is? Like 9 times out of 10, they actually do go great.
Yeah, you're better off being bullish.
Well, that's what convinced me to be bullish, is because we started roughly within, not necessarily at the recession, but like, we started working roughly while it was still going on. Like, it was not, the economy wasn't great. But then I was like, wait a second. Most years, the market goes up.
Yeah.
So you're going to be right more often when you're less concerned about it. When you still should be, wary, right? That's a natural, but then it's good. But at the same time, if it goes up most of the time,
why would you always assume it's going down?
Yeah, why would you always assume it's going down? You need to do the opposite, because, no offense, the money you're going to make on it going up for 9 years is still going to be more than the money you'll make on it going down for 1.
Yeah.
Unless a double leverage, which is in case you're just being extra risky anyway. Like if you borrow just to sell short. So it doesn't make more sense to be bearish. And I realized that it made more sense to be bullish. So you are better off acting like a bull than acting like a bear, despite the fact that Alex and I, our first experience was with basically a bear market.
Yeah. And it's interesting because there's kind of two schools, right? So when you're dealing with individuals, right, the most important thing is really not whether the market's going up, down. It's their particular specific needs, right?
Yeah.
What is it that they need? But on the institutional side, it really is very easy, because most institutions now, right, they hire you for being an expert in a particular field, right? In other words, small caps or biotech stocks or high yield or corporate bonds, and they don't want you to make bets. In other words, the asset allocator, the consultant, is making all the bets. He's saying, okay, I'm hiring you, I'm putting 10% in this sector. Do not go into cash. And they specifically say that.
Yeah.
I don't want you in cash. I don't want you making market decisions. I've already made that.
All you have to do
is beat that index, right? Yeah. And that's your only job.
So the index is down 20.
And they don't want you to beat it.
You can be down 18.
The point is, they don't want you to beat it saying, I'm going into cash, because they don't want you in cash. So you got to beat it basically doing the analysis that you can do, right?
Yeah,
so it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
But in essence, from that perspective, as a portfolio manager, it's like you're sitting there. I don't care whether the market's going up and down. I'm looking for what is value in that particular sector, right? Yeah, it's interesting.
You could be down 30%, and if the index is down 32, they're like, you did a great job.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
because I didn't hire you to avoid the minus 30. I hired you to be better than the market, which is 32.
Exactly, yeah. But you know, Nick is right. When you think about it, there is
Could you repeat that?
a group of no, but there's a group of think about it, there's
Just
a
for the
group of
record.
people now in their probably 16 to 20-year-old, right, that never lived through a recession. I mean,
That's
when was
true.
2008 was the last recession, really, right? In the
Yeah.
sense of that elongated recession, which is a 2 or 3 year kind of
Yeah,
down
that's
markets,
true.
right? We've had down markets, 1 year or another year, but so there's just a group of young professionals in Wall
That
Street
don't know what that looks
have
like.
never ever experienced that kind of
Yeah.
recession.
So we have Lucrecia Morales watching.
Oh, Lucrecia.
Lucrecia, ¿cómo está?
And Brighton Word comments, a broken clock is right twice a day when referring to investors who say the same thing over and over and eventually.
Yep,
right.
exactly.
It's true,
The problem is they only write sometimes once.
Well,
Once is even better.
They're worse than a broken
to be
right.
fair, I wouldn't mind being wrong most of the time and only being right once if I made millions of
Well,
dollars
unless if you,
off of it, right? I mean,
you'd have to leverage. But I mean, if you were leveraging every single year, you'd be broke.
No, but we've talked about there are guys
Yeah, but,
that like,
yeah, but that's-
no, right. But my point is that there are guys that are still millionaires because they got something right once.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's only been right once. And the thing is, he only needed to be right once. You just need to basically okay, I made my big bet. I was right. I need to I can make all the calls I want, but I'm not going all in on all my money ever again, right? I mean, Drunken Miller was the same thing. He had that huge thing with George Soros, but ever since, I mean, he still does really well. Like I think he averages 45%. So he still makes a good return, but he hasn't made $1 billion in one day like he did for Soros.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because he saw something, got it right, and made the money. And now he does he can play around, but let's face it, he's not putting 100% of all his wealth into his next big bets and every single bet.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be fair, at the same time, if you were going to be right about only one thing ever, and
Yeah, but you got to be right the first time. Because if you bet all of your money the first time and you're wrong, and that's the one you have
That's
to be
the
wrong,
problem,
then
man.
you have no money.
Yeah, that's the
that's
thing.
the
You only
issue.
hear about the guys that were fortunate, right, or smart enough to do it right the first time,
Yeah.
right? You never hear about.
Well, think about it. Let's say there was a guy that was totally wrong about the great financial crisis. So he was wrong about the crash in 0809, but he was absolutely right about what he thought was going to happen in 2011. Well, if he lost all his money in 0809 because he was absolutely wrong, then he wasn't there to invest in 2011, so you'll never know that he was right.
I knew.
He would have made billions in
some
2011
guy-
if he still had money that he didn't lose in
He'd have to
2008.
convince somebody to back him up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like, wait a minute.
There's some guy jingling a coin on some street corner in
one
New
of the Salvation
York.
Santas?
Yeah, and he's one of the Salvation Santas. I knew it was gonna happen. He's ringing the bell, seeing the numbers on the Wall Street stuff, and he's like, I knew that was gonna happen. I wasted all that money on that other idea.
Exactly.
Miguel Corradine says, "Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad,
Feliz
Navidad, Miguel.
and Bon Natale."
You gotta
And
leave.
Buon
it.
Natale. Oh.
Last thing I wanted to ask before we stop is, what are you because we always used to ask, what are we looking forward to for Christmas this year? So what are you looking forward to?
Well, so I mean,
I've got mine
He's
because-
a little more sad this Christmas.
yeah. So obviously,
his
yeah.
baby
So
won't be there.
it's not going to be the
same.
Christmas that. But I mean, so we're
the
going to
season,
celebrate.
'cause
So
we will
it's the
celebrate.
season, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so
we're gonna celebrate for a whole season,
So
yeah.
so obviously, celebrating Christmas now with two little ones is going to be a lot of fun, and so and again, I was talking to mommy about it, just the last few weeks, and I said, think about, they're still too young to really.
Know what's
Understand
happening. Yes.
what's happening. I said, but little by little, maybe
When
at
they
1.5,
start to figure it
2.5.
Probably by next Christmas they'll understand
They'll
the
understand a
excitement.
little
of
bit
opening
more,
presents.
and it's just
That would be so great.
when they get to that point where it's like Santa's coming
Yeah.
and the trees and things like that, and also the presents under the tree and things like that. That's when it's really fun. I mean, that's where that enjoyment. That's like, it's funny how they say. When you have children, you relive your childhood through your children, which is absolutely true. I mean, I love taking you guys to Legoland, to all the places that
you went when you were a kid.
No, well, I never went to
you would've
Legoland, right?
enjoyed it.
But all the
Yeah.
things that you enjoyed, I saw through your eyes, through your actions, and it's just overwhelming, right? Now to do that with my grandchildren, I mean, it's going to be even better because you're paying for it.
Well, see, that's what I'm looking forward to. Is,
I know.
'cause I know he's not going to know. He's only 8.5 months. He's not going to really know what's going on. But there is a certain. I will say one of the many nice things about my son is that he's very excited no matter what seems to be going on. So I'm just kind of curious to be like, what is he going to be like? We're going to be unwrapping stuff for him, and I know he's going to be excited despite the fact that he has no clue.
You know, he's gonna get most excited about all the wrapping paper. He could be like, look
And the
what you're
yeah.
doing on. That's what Lito
No, mine
brought you.
loves tissue boxes.
Yeah.
No,
She always wants to. I have all these toys, and she's like, "Oh, I want the tissue box."
and I'm fine.
Now,
The funny
and
thing
guess what? Guess what? I got my niece and nephew.
Tissue
Tissue
boxes.
boxes and boxes. I mean, why am I gonna get toys for
But
it?
see, I'm fine with that. Like, I love the idea. Like, of Elizabeth was just sort of like she was cooking dinner one day, and he was in the kitchen, just on the floor. She just handed him a wooden spoon, and he just started playing with the wooden spoon. And I'm like, I'm totally happy that's fun. Like, I'm okay with him. Like, that's his toy for today. He's like figuring out. He's like flinging it, chewing on it, and banging it on the ground, and laughing and And I'm like, that's great. That's part of like he needs to learn about everything, not just his toys. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what is he going to fixate on? Because you know he's going to have a blast opening stuff.
To be honest, so just the other day when I went to your house and you had the Christmas tree and I was holding Pasqualino, right? And I went up to the Christmas tree and his eyes just look at all the lights
colors,
and the
yeah.
colors and stuff. And I could just see him looking. It's like, you know, I mean, what is all that stuff? It's like it's all there, and you know. And he's like, "Can I grab any of this?" And it's like, unfortunately,
Well, we actually
I
gave
can't
him
really.
a plastic ornament to
Yeah.
play with while we did the tree.
Yeah.
And he would just hold on to it, and then he tried to chew it. But like, it was a plastic one, so it wasn't going to break. But like, again, we'd like be part. I don't mind that. Like, be part of it. You know. Even yesterday, Elizabeth just gave him a lemon. It was just sort of like we had a lemon. He hadn't tried a lemon yet. Here's a lemon, and figure it out for yourself. And he was playing, rolling it around, and then he tried to eat, and he really liked the outside. So I said, let's cut it open and see what and she goes, no, let's not do that yet. We'll do it tomorrow or something like that. I was like, let's just see what he does. Because I like the inside of a lemon, so I'm like, he'll probably like it too.
No.
How about
the
you
first
guys?
time they taste sour.
Yeah, what about you guys? What are you looking forward to?
Well, that's what I was looking forward to, is a him opening.
You just answered that. You
No, but the other.
Yeah, you too.
No, probably similarly to see her put her in a cute little dress. Well, we also put her
You see,
in
that's
a
different.
Christmas
Yeah,
dress
you
with
get
like
to-
a little Christmas hat. And see how she looks. That'll be take some pictures. That'll
Yeah,
probably be-
you're looking forward to going to Montana.
Having all the
well,
German food.
maybe not necessarily the cold, but
The trip itself.
trip.
is
You
not
can
Not
go
the
fun,
trip.
skiing,
Yeah, I remember
sledding. You can take Maria on her
Yeah,
first
the
sled.
two plane
your
rides aren't
mother-in-law though
exactly.
makes those like hearty
Well,
German
plus,
meals that are so
God
good.
bless her, she's been practicing the blue vine. Like the mulled
She's
wine.
been practicing.
Yeah, she told us the other day she's been practicing to make sure she gets it right.
Oh, that's so great.
So I'm sure there's gonna be mulled wine. Apparently she's been practicing a lot of like German dishes she hasn't done before. I'm like, oh, okay.
So shit.
Maybe we should sneak
That's
on
why
that
we love
plane.
Monica. She had to practice making stuff.
I
We were
know.
like,
It's
yeah.
gonna be so that the food will be good.
So she's practicing. I mean, Jeff's having a great time. Then
He's probably having a great time too, yeah.
keep practicing.
Yeah,
Don't
keep
worry about
practicing.
it.
He's like, I don't think you got it right. I think I have to do it again.
So I mean, yeah, the food will be good too.
We have a just before we'll give Miguelone a minute to
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Well,
Miguelone.
Miguel Corradine had commented, "We're looking forward to a free Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua."
There you are.
Same
That's
here.
a good one.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Cuba-
I
Yeah,
had the little flip thing. I do it.
yeah, the little clapping. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
almost read that
Cuba
right.
Libre. We'll
Yes.
drink a Cuba Libre one day for
Yes.
free Cuba.
yeah. Well, we did that when Castro died.
We had a Cuba Libre.
Yeah, we celebrated.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's
Yeah.
another guy.
Now there's another Castro.
That's okay. I will just be drinking a lot. Yeah.
They live forever, those Castros.
They really do. Yeah. They can outlive me probably.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope not.
What about you?
I'm looking forward to. I don't know. It's
Nothing.
whatever, yeah. I'm looking forward to Christmas season end.
But so
Well,
when we all get back together and we get a chance to do it, what do you look forward to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The port, not even the,
The
port.
port. Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy the cookies and everything.
Yeah, the
for-
cookies, the port. Yeah, the port will be good.
So.
So there's just nothing specific, just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, next year I'll probably be more excited when the kids are.
hear
You
it.
actually give them presents that they're gonna
Yeah.
interact with and enjoy. You know.
That will be nice. That will be nice.
Yeah.
Any parting thoughts?
No, I
the
just
show?
first of all, I really, truly want to thank Jerry
Yeah.
for giving us this
The idea in
opportunity
the first
because
place.
I mean, talking about taking you out of the box, right?
Yeah.
In the sense of allowing you to express yourself and putting you in sometimes in difficult situations where you have to, go out there and do things that are uncomfortable.
I mean, he believed in us when we didn't
Yeah.
know that this was possible.
Yeah, and I think he's helped every single one of us, right?
Become better,
To
yeah.
be a better person, to be a better, be more
Communicator.
articulate, and just go out there and say, hey, you know what? This is in the end. This is not. I'm not saying it's not hard, but this is not as hard as I thought. And
Yeah, and I can do it.
Yeah. And I think it's helped our
Yeah.
business. So I thank him and I thank Judah because, you're right. I mean,
He's been here
without
every
Judah, it's
si-
like this
And
microphone
almost
would always
every
be
single
far
row.
away or,
Plenty of
who knows.
challenges.
But he's done a lot for us. And of course, the viewers that, stayed with us and,
The whole time, yeah.
came to our show. Everybody came to our show and made it possible. Like, there was a lot of good times. And I
Yeah.
want to thank them all.
Oh, same here. Yeah, it
second
wouldn't be
time,
the same
yeah.
without everyone that commented and always put in there. Big shout out. I know he passed away, but Kevin Higgins was always there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us.
I know.
Which is
So,
great
yeah.
comments. God bless
Yeah.
him. He was always there. Asking great questions. and
Especially
being
those
there for
questions he
us.
used to ask me. That
On the
that-
finance topic, he would ask you the tough
And
questions.
the
He
one we
would
asked me
turn-
about the seven reindeer, remember?
Oh yeah, but that was the hardest one
that
he
was
ever
the hardest
asked
one
you
of
was
all.
the Christmas
You gotta
one.
be kidding me, right?
Well, yeah, that's one of those things where you know all of them, and then on the spot you're like, oh, I got to come up with them.
Yeah, I never know.
You knew
I
Rudolph.
still don't know. Rudolph.
But no, we've had great guests, great people that have come on. We appreciate all our partners through the years
Yes.
that were with us and they
Especially-
came
Yeah.
on every month and shared what they did with us and helped make the show possible.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the partnership, so that was key.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been really good.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Everything has its season. Obviously, part of the reason it's not that we don't enjoy the show anymore. It's just that business has grown. It's succeeded. We're to have families. We've gotten busier,
Yeah.
and so it's time to see what's next, and then who knows, maybe come back.
Yeah,
With the whole
take a
new
break
lineup
and
or
then come back.
something, yeah.
Absolutely.
Do the legacy edition. The legacy edition.
Sequel, legacy sequel. That's
The
what they
legacy
call it.
sequel.
Legacy
Well, that's
sequel.
always like one of the original good ones, and not like the new sequels.
Exactly.
It's
We'll be
like-
terrible. We'll come back on the show. Be terrible. We'll be old. Everyone's gonna say, "What happened to them?"
What happened to
the actors. Oh my God, he got old.
They got old, yeah.
Well, they did was get old. They didn't get better.
No, I want
Well,
to
they'll be like, Judah's just as good as always because he's never on the camera. Be like, Judah's great. He's the best part still.
No, I want to be like one of those like really good sequels where you're like, it's like the Lord of the Rings where it's like they did the first one and the next one's like, oh man, that was almost better.
Yeah, but that's not a legacy sequel. It has to
Yeah,
be
that's
like
true. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, that's
know.
a trilogy.
Yeah. Have they done anything 20 years later that ended up being good?
You tell me.
Blade Runner 2049 was better. I thought was better than Blade Runner.
Yeah, I guess.
So there's one.
One.
But none of us is Ryan Gosling, so
No.
we'll see how that works out.
That's okay. I'm okay with not being Ryan Gosling. But okay, yeah. So I mean, we'll never know what happens.
Yep.
We'll keep you posted. You can still always. I mean, obviously the Facebook page will still be there. You'll be able to see the shows. Still send us questions, comments. You never know.
Absolutely.
You can still
Well-
like and subscribe.
Yeah, you can still like, share, and subscribe. It's evergreen content. It'll never go away. You can always find us at Emergent Financial Services. You always know, we're on Old Ivy Road, past the Old Ivy Inn in Old Ivy Way.
That's
You
right.
can find us in there if you ever want to come by and say hi.
If you want to see our faces again.
Exactly. If you have, for some
You missed
reason, the
Xavier's
wish to
face.
see our faces again or to chat with the affable Xavier, just come on by, say hello.
Always. Absolutely. That's a pleasure.
But it's been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. Thank you guys. Thanks, Nick, for always finding people for us.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
It's right
I know I
for being a
make
great
fun of you all the time. but
co-host.
Thank you for
That's
being the
all right.
host.
Yeah, thanks
I've
for
sat in that
hosting.
chair a number of times. It's so much better when
That's
Alex
a
is on
piece
that
of
chair.
cake. That's why I let him do it.
Yes.
That's why you've never. You probably only did it a couple times with him, probably.
I
He
did
did
it
it
once
maybe
with
once with
yeah,
me
with-
before I was like comfortable enough to do
Oh,
it.
okay. And then
couple
once
times
the
with
pupil
Megan.
surpassed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That wasn't
bar
hard.
wasn't
yeah.
I
low
didn't
on the
take
people.
long.
No, honestly,
Bar.
listen, it was just the opening and closing. I was Xavier. By the time he has to read to our sponsor list,
The opening and
I
closing
forget
takes
him. So,
the longest to master.
yeah, the closing's the worst. The opening is
Yeah.
easy. Closing's tough.
This one won't be too hard.
No.
It'll be emotional, but not hard.
Nah,
Don't start crying, though.
I won't start crying. I won't start crying. I won't put the
We get one last comment from Rosalia de Rosalia Cordero. You guys look fantastic. Good job.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Leah.
you.
Leah has been watching us from New
the
York
beginning.
and Miami,
Miami, yeah.
from the beginning.
Yes.
So thank you, Leah, for
Thank you,
always watching us. You know, so we appreciate everyone who's tuned in over the years, everyone that's come on, everyone behind the camera, everyone in front of the camera. So, and you, all our viewers. So, how we want to close it out, we'll say Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Bon Natal,
Bon
and how do you say it
Natale,
in German?
Frohe Weihnachten.
There you go, that sounds good.
Oh, I like that.
It doesn't even sound like it should be.
But it sounds good enough to
Well,
me.
it sounds
yeah.
like wine to me, and I'm like, I like that.
you know, but Feliz Navidad, Bon Nadal, Bon Natale. God bless you all.
Yes.
And as we close it out, maybe one last time, hasta mañana.
Bravo.